prophets, a clip from our movie, and coloring book pages to use for family reading. So that's really, really cool. And then we've also got 3,600 pages on there that you can go on and just copy them. So like when my wife was the primary president, she would do the ones from the King is Born video, make a little booklet and let the kids color that and give it to their kids or their parents for Christmas. And then she'd teach them the story, and then they'd use those flashcards to tell the story. So it really helps to ingrain the stories.
That's super
So
legit.
I tell people one of the best ways that you can use this in your family is you can watch it, put it in, not do anything else, but you can do the quizzes and learn about them. The other thing you can do is you can have them the next week reenact the story with the flashcards that you made for them. And that's where you get the real benefit when they're telling you the stories that they've already learned. And so it makes it really, really fun. But no matter what you choose, those just come no matter what. So the kids package, what it contains. Have you guys seen the Swan Princess movies before?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they think they had one of them when I was growing up.
They have two of them on Netflix.
Oh, do you? Okay. So you might not choose this one, but it comes in the kids package. There's 3 of them. Kids really like them, and so they come right up front with your first shipment. You get those. And when you've already seen them, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on those. Then we have the kids' 10 Commandments. So what I'm doing is I just made a mental note there for you guys that they have 2 of them on Netflix, and I already know that's one of my expendable bonuses that I can just get rid of. I made my mind up there, and I have reasons why they shouldn't get this.
Yeah.
I have reasons why they should get everything and reasons why they shouldn't get everything, so I can help make a decision. But this right here is the kids' 10 Commandments. And this little boy Seth grows up in this little Israelite village, and he learns the 10 Commandments. So each one of these DVDs covers 2 of the commandments. And what's fun is he's just going through life. Now this is a little bit like VeggieTales. These are super scripturally accurate. They have you put the references up when it's from the scriptures, you know exactly where it is, and they're very, very accurate. These, they have the not so golden calf, he talks, okay? But kids under 7 dig this. Your 10-year-old, they're past the point of digging it. They'll watch it once, they're not going to dig it. But underneath 7, they will watch these over and over and over and over again. And this is just something we're giving as a bonus now. My favorite one is the one where they cover adultery. And I'm like, how the heck are they going to do that? And I don't want to spoil it for you, so I'll just let you watch that one when you get it, okay? Okay.
Oh,
No.
curiosity. You're all like, hold on a second. No, that's
Actually,
not fair.
I'll tell you. So his mom is a real looker as far as animations go. and one of the ladies, or one of the guys in their town, he comes up to her and goes, "We could really make beautiful music together." And she goes, "No, I only sing with my husband." And he goes, and he says, "Well, we should sing this song together." And she says, "Well, I'll ask my husband." So they decide, obviously, that she's not going to sing with him. And so that's kind of how they cover the subject. But it's really funny how they do it. You'll like it. It's fun. So anyway, that comes with the kids' 10 Commandments. And then this right here is the Family Hour Stories. And what I really like about this is this goes through, and it's like the old-time radio where they have actors and actresses and all kinds of sound effects. And my favorite story in here is Little Bad Legs. And you guys have heard that story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard that story? Have you guys heard the story of The Man Without a Country?
I
I
have.
have not.
Okay. Have you guys heard the story of Billy Scott?
No.
Which one is that?
Okay, I'll tell that one since you haven't heard it.
Okay.
So Billy Scott, he lived at the time of Abraham Lincoln, and what basically happened with Billy Scott is he was in the army, and they had guard duty that they had to pull. And one night, one of his friends was really, really sick, and he'd been up and he'd done a 12-hour shift on guard duty. And his friend was sick. He says, "I will take your spot." And so he was doing service for his buddy. Anything. He fell asleep on guard duty. And back then, if you fell asleep on guard duty, it was punishable by death. And so they actually put him before a tribunal, and they said, "Okay,
So you need to get back to that
He's
system.
you're going to punish him by death." Can you imagine what that happened if they did that today? Like freaking half the army would be gone.
3/4.
Yeah. Maybe not the Air Force, but the Army, definitely 3/4. But it's hard to go to sleep when you're flying an airplane.
Yeah.
But anyway, what happened is they put him up in front of the firing squad, and they're like, they ask him like, "What, how do you feel about this?" And he says, "I fell asleep," and he says, "I'm willing to take the punishment because you know, if everybody did that, where would our country be and what would happen? I think today, man, couldn't people used to listen to that, where they take a little bit of responsibility for what they've done? No one does that today. And it's really good to hear him do that. So anyway, they put him up in front of the firing squad, and right before they are to do that, Abraham Lincoln comes in and talks to him. And he tells Abraham Lincoln, he says, you need to follow through with this, because at the end of the day, I didn't keep my commitment, I didn't do what I should have done, and where would our country be? So they put him up in front of the fire squad, and they're like, ready, aim, fire, and you hear a click. And they put blanks in the gun. But he was willing to go through with it and take responsibility. It's just an awesome story. One of my other favorite stories in here, I love the story of Little Bad Legs, and I tell that story. You guys have already heard me tell that, so I'm going to tell it again. But there's a lot of great stories. And the thing that's fun about this is, do you guys have a hard time getting your kids to go to bed, or not so much?
Yeah.
Like, literally when it get to that point, my wife would, like, she's an angel, she freaking grow horns. I thought she was going to start killing kids and offering sacrifices, and I'm like, holy
Offering
crap.
sacrifice.
Because my kids, like, they were awesome till 9 o'clock at night, and then we're like, both wanted to kill them, you know? And so what we did is we told our kids, if you go to bed on time, we'll let you listen to one of these and some of our other dramatized stuff, and if not, then you don't get to. And they loved listening to them so much, they would go to bed, and so it might solve that little problem of bedtime for you. And the other thing that's cool is, instead of our kids going to bed with us spanking them and having World War III, they're going to bed listening to stories like Billy Scott or Man Without a Country or Little Bad Legs, and some of these things that promote faith, and so they're really good. So that comes in that series. Now the next series I'm going to show you is the adult series, and
What?
on that,
The adult series?
the adult series, yeah,
Okay.
and on that, it's not what you're thinking, okay? We're trying to improve media.
Okay, I'm wondering, what kind of company is it?
Let me rephrase that. It's the parents package.
Okay,
Does that sound better?
yeah, like,
I'm sorry. I don't know why I said adult, but I normally don't say that, but once in a while I do. I apologize. So, but the reason I say that is because adults would like it better than maybe some of these. So the first thing, do you guys like classical music?
Very much.
I love classical music.
Oh, you both do. Awesome. You guys will love this one. This is our most popular bonus, and this is the Morning Hymn Classics, and it's 72 hours of hymns from the hymn book. People like it. It's orchestrated, the London National Philharmonic Orchestra, someone that's done the music.
72 hours?
72 hymns. Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's over 6 CDs that go through. Super, super good. And I might have said hours. I don't really like classical music, and so it seems like 72 hours. But no, I do like these. And what people do is they'll put these on Sunday mornings before they go to church, just to create a good mood. I have a buddy that's a dentist, and I a set of these for Christmas a few years ago. And he says, I got to tell you something that's really interesting. He says, when I put on the hymns of the Restoration, because there's no words to it, he says the non-members come up and they'll always say, what is that? That is so beautiful. I really, really like it. I think that's really interesting that they picked that one, because it has such a good feeling about it. But anyway, this normally runs for $79. That comes in the parents package. And like I said, no matter which one you do, you get the coloring activity books that come with either one for your kids to use.
That's good.
So that's the Kids' 10 Commandments there.
So
Or, excuse me, that's the Morning Hymn
Is there like
Classics.
words with that music or something?
No,
Okay.
no, it's just all classical.
Well, I really like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a super, super good music. And then, do you guys, have you heard of Cleon Skousen before?
Yeah, I tried to read one of his books before. I don't know.
Like the first 1,000 years, and
Yeah.
second 1,000 years. Well, people either like him or don't like him. What camp do you guys fit in?
Don't like him.
Okay, great. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this away. And so, actually,
I kind of like him, so
My husband likes him.
I might want that.
actually, this is honestly so cool. And I heard these first. Our stake president, when I was in college, he had us listen to these, and we watched one every Sunday for 6 weeks, and it goes all the way through Jerusalem. But he's this dude right here.
Do you see him in the...
Yeah. So he's like standing at the top of the Mount of Olives. Is like when the Savior comes, it's going to cleave and separate, and he starts talking about it. You get to go to the Garden Tomb, Golgotha. You get to go to the Dome of the Rocks, and all these places over in Jerusalem that you couldn't even go to now. And if you did, you'd have to have like 6 armed guards with AK-47s,
If you have a
protecting you.
45 Magnum, take with me.
Exactly. And so what's really cool is he goes through all those places, and it's 6 movies. And I will tell you this, it's old school. They're cruising around in their 70s style leisure suits, talking about this stuff, but it's really, really, really good. And it's a free bonus. And that comes in the parents package. You don't have to get that if you don't want to, but there's that. And the last thing I was going to show you is this is the Great Mormon Women. And in this series, this is the last series we did because they tried to find 12 Great Mormon Women and they had a hard time, so they've left the last 2 blank. So maybe you could do one on your wife or something and put that in there for your posterity. I'm just joking.
I had a lady think that there actually was a blank one in the back.
Yeah.
I was like,
But what's cool about these is you always hear about Brigham Young and Joseph Smith and Lorenzo Snow and John Taylor and all the great things they did. But you don't always hear about the ladies. And I love this series. Have you guys heard the story of Ellis Reynolds Shipp before? Ellis Reynolds Shipp, she was a lady doctor. And what happened is she lived during the time of Brigham Young, and he says, well, I want you to go back and become a doctor because they were losing so many babies and so many mothers. So she went back, and she felt so bad about being away from her family that she stayed up all night making dresses and selling them and sending the money back to help her family survive while she was gone. Then she came back, and she delivered over 1,000 babies and never lost a baby or a mother. That's pretty amazing during the 1800s, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so they asked her, how did she do it? She says, I cheated. They're like, what? How did you cheat? She goes, I promised the Lord I'd give my life for medicine as long as he wouldn't send me someone I couldn't save. So she says the tough ones, the poor other doctors got them.
Hmm.
And that wasn't the case. She'd literally have dreams the night before the complications and how to overcome them. And then the next day, boom, she'd have the issue and she'd know how to fix it. And it's just an awesome, awesome story. Have you guys heard the story of Paula Hawkins? Paula Hawkins was the first lady senator that was LDS, and she went to her mayor, and they had some issues with their water quality, and she says, you fix the water problem, or I will have your job. And he didn't fix it, and she ran for office and took his job. And then they called her the battling housewife. She drove around in a Winnebago all over the state of Florida, and basically told her story and what her philosophies were. Anyway, she was elected senator. And the cool thing was that she'd fly back from Washington to Florida to teach her gospel doctrine class every Sunday, and then back again. She's just a tremendous story of faith and super, super good. And there's honestly just story after story after story of the Great Mormon Women here. You'll love that. And so the way the program works is when you get started, you pay for the first one today. It comes to $31.90 with tax, and we just leave that here with you. And then the next month, you get one from the New Testament, next month Old Testament, and then the last month you can either have one from the prophets or you can have the Heroes series for free. And then whatever bonus that you guys would like here, if you want the kids package or the parents package, you get that for free. So which of those would you rather have, the parents package or the kids package?
probably the kids package, but I don't really like, paying for Swan Princess, and we can just watch it on Netflix.
Okay, so in fact, I was going to mention that earlier when you said that you had those on Netflix. I'm just going to go ahead and take those and get rid of those in here. So what I'll do is out of these 3 right here, which did you like the best out of these 3?
Probably the Great Mormon.
Marvin Hicks Classics, we like.
Okay, so I'm just going to put this here, and I'm going to put this over here. So the way it would work, basically, is I'll get rid of the Swan Princess movies. I'm going to put the hymns in here. And then what will happen is when you get your first shipment, you'll get the Kids' 10 Commandments, the Family Hour Stories, and then you can have either one of those for free. And I actually like them both. But I tell you what I'll do. I'm just new in the area, and we just work 100% off referrals. And if you can help me out with a few referrals, what I'll do is I'll throw in both of them. Okay? If you can help me with a couple of referrals at the end. So what will happen is you'll get the hymn classics, the Family Hour Stories, the Great Mormon Women, and the Kids' 10 Commandments. And then all that will come, you'll get the coloring activity books. And then the big decision you need to make is if you want to do the Heroes or the Prophets is your 4th series. Which out of those 2 would you rather do?
Don't you want to learn about the prophets' lives?
It'd be good for the older kids.
I guess.
Okay. And honestly, you can't go wrong with either one of them. and this is just my personal opinion, and I could be off on this. The kids will watch these a lot